And in a document that you guys have, and I think it's been provided to, to the world, the Chinese referenced that because of their trust in the Biden family, that Chairman Yi and Director Zhang are excited about moving forward in this. And in that document, they reference loaning $5 million to the BD family.
Right.
The BD family is the Biden family, that they're loaning that money to the Biden family.
What are the implications of this going forward? If Joe Biden is elected president, which could very well happen, how does this constrain his ability to deal with China?
Are you asking for my personal opinion?
I'm asking for your opinion as someone who's worked with the Chinese.
So I think Joe Biden and the Biden family are compromised. Obviously, I've referenced that I held a Q clearance. You're briefed on compromise and, who you're able to talk with and deal and do business with. And I just don't see, given the history here and the facts, how Joe can't be influenced in some manner based on the history that they have here with CFC and stuff like that. So as a citizen and an American taxpayer, I'm very, very concerned.
So what was that? That was a guy named Tony Bobulinski making some pretty bold claims about the Biden family and about Joe Biden in particular. So the question is Tony Bobulinski telling the truth, or is he lying? If you haven't seen the interview, you're watching YouTube right now. It's very easy to find. I recommend that you go out and watch it. I thought it was a very interesting interview. So I'm a jury consultant, and as I was watching the interview, I was thinking, well, I don't know if he's lying or not, but I wonder what a jury would think. Would a jury believe this guy, or would they think that he's making things up? And from everything that I know about jurors, I think 9 juries out of 10 would believe that this guy's telling the truth. And why is that? Well, one of the reasons is he seems genuine. In fact, I think that's one of the key reasons. He seems genuine. That's what jurors are looking for when they watch witnesses testifying on the witness stand or in a deposition. They believe people who don't have canned phrases that they've memorized ahead of time, that don't have kind of talking points that they're trying to promote. And what I noticed when I watched this interview is that Tony Bobulinski seemed to behave like a normal person. He showed normal human feelings and feelings that fit with what he was saying. And none of it seemed contrived. It seemed real and it seemed genuine. So I want to show you a couple examples, and I want to know what you think. So I'm going to play a couple of clips of what I thought demonstrated what I'm talking about here. So let's take a look at the first clip, and then we'll discuss it briefly after we watch it.
So Joe Biden has not denied meeting with you in Los Angeles, correct?
Correct.
Tell us about the conversation that you had with him.
So I initially was sitting, because I got there a little earlier, was sitting with Jim Biden and Hunter Biden, and Joe came through the lobby with his security, and Hunter basically said, hey, give me a second, I'll go over and give me 10 minutes to brief my dad and read him in on things. And so then Hunter and his father and security came through the bar, and obviously I stood up out of respect to shake his hand, and Hunter introduced me as, this is Tony, Dad, the individual I told you about that's helping us with the business that we're working on and the Chinese.
So it was clear to you that Joe Biden's son had told him about this business deal.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. Tell us about the conversation that subsequently occurred between you and Joe Biden.
So the conversation, as you're well aware, Tucker, I grew up the son of a career naval officer, so the president of the United States was always the commander-in-chief, whether they were a Democrat or Republican or other. And so I had the highest respect for Joe and the office that he had held. And so I stood up and shook his hand, and obviously we sat down and I think ordered some drinks. I think Jim Biden was hungry and might have ordered some food. And, Joe asked me to talk about my background, my family. He thanked me for my service. I'm obviously very proud of that. Proud of my brother's service and my grandfather's service. And then he walked through sort of his family.
Okay, so what did we just see there? So he smiled. And, a lot of witnesses are kind of afraid to smile, and therefore they appear very mechanical when they testify. And that doesn't look normal. It doesn't look real to a jury. And jurors just wonder what's going on when somebody behaves like that. So here he talked about his experience meeting the vice president, and it seemed like it was kind of an exciting thing for him, a guy who had served in the military, and he respects the office. And I think that was an example of him showing a genuine smile when he was reflecting on the fact that he had met the vice president. Okay, let's take a look at the next one.
So as I was listening to Jim walk through this, I have a big heart. If you talk to anybody who knows me, they would weigh in on that. I'm a kind person, and I'm thinking about the Biden family. Like, how are they doing this? I know Joe decided not to run in 2016, but what if he ran in the future? Aren't they taking political risk or headline risk? And I remember looking at Jim Biden and saying, how are you guys getting away with this? Like, aren't you concerned? And he looked at me and he laughed a little bit and said, plausible deniability.
He said that out loud?
Yes, he said it directly to me, one-on-one in a cabana at the Peninsula Hotel after about a hour and a half, 2 hour meeting, with me asking out of concern, how are you guys doing this? Aren't you concerned that you're going to put your brother's, future presidential campaign at risk? The Chinese, the stuff that you guys have been doing already in 2015 and 2016 around the world. And I just can almost picture his face where he sort of chuckles and says, plausible deniability.
So he said, this is a man who's been drafting off his brother's political career for almost 50 years. He said to your face, essentially, we're lying about it.
Anyone watching this interview can look up what plausible deniability means, and the definition is very distinct.
Okay, here's another example of him smiling, and I think he's smiling about something that he's proud of. He sees himself as an honest person, a caring person, and he was concerned about his clients and wondering if what they were doing was going to cause problems down the line. And I think he smiles about the fact that he views himself as somebody who cares about his clients. And that brought a smile to his face. And I think that seemed genuine. All right, let's look at the next one.
And this is a company with direct connections to the Communist government of China. So the former vice president has said he had no knowledge whatsoever of his son's business dealings and was not involved in them at all. But this sounds like direct involvement in them.
Yeah, that's a blatant lie. When he states that, that is a blatant lie. Obviously, the world's aware that I attended the debate last Thursday. And in that debate, he made a specific statement around questions around this from the president. And I'll be honest with you, I almost stood up and screamed liar and walked out because I was shocked that after 4 days or 5 days that they prepped for this, that the Biden family is taking that position to the world. And once again, I'm irrelevant in this discussion. I just was brought in to run this company and have been exposed to all of this fact. And I believe the American people should see this fact. I would have much preferred the Biden family go on record and define these facts for the American people and the globe versus me sitting here having a discussion with you on it.
So Joe Biden has not denied meeting with you in Los Angeles, correct?
Correct.
Okay, here's another example of a smile, and it's a smile in a different context. This is a smile of kind of discomfort. He doesn't want to be there. And one of the things that people do when they're in situations of stress or anxiety or discomfort, sometimes they will smile, which reduces those feelings of discomfort. And I think that's what's going on here. But it seems real and it seems genuine and believable because I think it engenders a little bit of empathy. He doesn't want to be there and he's smiling about the fact that he's there even though he doesn't want to be there. All right, let's take a look at the next one.
As I referenced earlier, I'm only sitting here because they have not only have they not gone on record, they've denied it, and they've tarred my family name and a long history of serving this country, and have other congressmen out talking about Russian disinformation.
This whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin.
I held a top secret clearance from the NSA and the DOE. I served this country for 4 years in one of the most elite environments in the world, Naval Nuclear Power Training Command. And to have a congressman out there speaking about Russian disinformation, or Joe Biden at a public debate referencing Russian disinformation when he knows he sat face to face with me, that I traveled around the world with his son and his brother, to say that and associate that with my name is absolutely disgusting to me.
Okay, here he's talking about some true feelings of disgust that he had, and it really shows. And again, these aren't contrived feelings that he's demonstrating. It seems to be coming from the heart. And the reaction seems normal. It seems genuine, and it seems real. Okay, so let's look at one more clip.
Well, in basic form, you're exactly right. They are publicly accusing me of treason right now. treating me like I'm insignificant, or the 50 years of history that my family served this country is insignificant. And that's why I'm sitting here having this. I assure you, this is the absolute last place I want to be right now, and the last thing I want to be doing right now. But I feel like I have a patriotic duty to this country and every American citizen to go on record and to find the facts for them and let them do their own work. Let them decide how they view those facts or not. But for the Biden family to deny these facts, and then not only deny them, they could have just said no comment, but they didn't say no comment. They then brought in Russian disinformation and basically associated my name with that, which is absolutely disgusting to me. And I had to go on the record. Last weekend, I was in Virginia. Sadly, my sister-in-law passed away at around, I think, 6:38 Saturday morning. That's the wife of my brother, who spent 28 years serving this country as a naval flight officer and just retired. So you can imagine me dealing with that and the tragedy of that. When I saw Adam Schiff go on record talking about Russian disinformation after this email had been posted online by the New York Post, and remember, that email was to me, from James Gillier, right? It wasn't, I wasn't blind carboned or CC'd on that. It was to me stating that I was going to be the CEO of this enterprise. I was at the end of my rope. And so I called Rob Walker and I told him that if that statement isn't retracted by Congressman Schiff by midnight on Sunday, that I was going on record and I was disclosing all the facts to the American government, to the American citizen, and the world. I was hoping the Bidens would do the right thing, or Schiff would retract his statement, but I could not allow another minute, another hour, or a day for my family's name to be associated or muddied up around Russian disinformation. So even as I sit here today, I would ask the Biden family to come on record and stop using my name or associating it with Russian disinformation. It's absolutely disgusting.
Okay, there's another one where he shows actual frustration, and I think that leads and lends to his credibility. I think it strengthens his credibility. He's responding like a normal human being would respond under those circumstances. There you have it, and I want to know what you think. Is he telling the truth or is he lying? And I guess the next question is, does it matter one way or another? So thank you for watching. I hope you found this enjoyable, and I will see you next time.